All right, welcome back to another exciting episode of Southern Sorcery, the Sit Down. Today we have a very exciting guest. We've got Peachy Pop herself on here. We are so excited to talk about some of the stuff that's gotten her into magic and cosplay and all the above. You'll see her link tree in the description below. So if you're not following, be sure to smash all those buttons and give her a like, follow, and subscribe. All the good stuff. But without further ado, just want to say welcome to our guests. How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I actually just got back from TwitchCon this past weekend, which was crazy. They had magic stuff at TwitchCon, which was
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
it was crazy. Yeah, there was a lot of people playing Magic, and I was not prepared for that at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was my first time in California. I was in San Diego,
Okay.
and I landed like 2 hours 2 hours ago.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
it's been a whirlwind of a weekend. But yeah, I'm coming off of that, so it's been a really exciting weekend, and I kind of, with all that excitement, I had kind of not like I haven't kept up as much with Duskmorn and like the new stuff that had come out, and I saw the news stuff about what we'll get to that later. As I was like in the line at TSA to get on the plane, and I was like, oh
And then
no.
you have to go into airplane mode. You can't
Yeah.
even
I was like, I want to read about it. I want to read
Yeah,
all the takes.
I want
I
all
want to
the
know
tea.
what's
I want all
happening.
the tea.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
It's been a crazy day in Commander.
yeah, it has. Yeah, honestly, it's like all my. I was at work when the news. And for I'll just go ahead. Yeah, for
Yeah, we can
for
just
those
talk about it
watching
now.
this-
We can
Oh,
just
yeah.
talk about it now. Yeah.
yeah, this is the you're watching this video in the future, but today is Monday, and this was the day that the band that will live in infamy came out, where
Yes.
Darkside, Mana Crypt, Jeweled Lotus, and
Mhm.
Nadu all got banned, and it set the community on fire. It was probably one of the busiest days in Magic social media history that I've ever seen. It's like, yeah, and there they are, right there they are.
Yeah. This is the only ones
RIP.
I had them both in my Nira deck because I try to not do too like I don't do like much CEDH stuff. She's my main
Yeah.
like high power deck, and both of them were crammed in there. RIP.
Yeah, I know, RIP. Yeah, my Perforos deck, mono red, had all three. I was like,
Oh
what am I gonna do? Like, these
Yeah.
are three
yeah.
like staples in this deck. Like,
Yeah.
it felt bad. Yeah, yeah. I've got to I don't know. I've got to cope. I've got to take like a day tomorrow and be like, just go into a dark room and kind of weep.
Yeah. Schedule some
You
therapy.
just start going through the book. Like, what else do I even have?
Exactly. Yeah.
God.
What can what's a Mana Crypt equivalent? Yeah.
Nothing.
But yes, that was breaking news. So that's again, that's probably the biggest band day that's happened in a long time
Yeah.
in my recent history, at least. But our first question, this is always an exciting one. It's different for everybody, but I like to ask it's what got you into Magic the Gathering?
Yeah, so I started playing Magic in around like 2010, 2011-ish. The first set that I like remember is Avacyn Restored, which I think was 2011. But like I had like friends in high school who were like, "You like games and things, you should come play Magic." And like by you should come play Magic, it'd be like, "We are going to our friend's basement to play Magic, and you should watch, and we will not explain anything to you." So for a while I was like,
Oh, no.
like
Oh,
I was like, this
great.
seems cool, but I don't know that I get it yet. And then around like 2010, 2011 is when I started like actually going to like events. I think my first FNM was Avacyn Restored. And from there, I'd never played Standard like for even a minute. I went directly into Modern because Modern was born in 2011. And then I played Modern for 10 years straight, and then got into Commander in like 2021-ish, like 2020 or 2021-ish. So I had kind of a weird path getting into Magic. I feel like it usually goes like entirely the opposite way of like starting with Commander and then like going to other formats. So yeah, so that's where that's kind of how I got involved in this. And then I started doing Magic cosplay around 2015, 2016-ish. So and that was when I was like, I was going to like Modern nights at LGS's like 3-4 nights a week because like there was every shop had one on a different day of the week. So I was just going like Modern Mondays, and this place has Modern at FNM, and this place does Modern on Saturdays. So I was just like running every shop in my college town. Like yeah. So those were my glory days.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, 2011. Honestly, that's kind of where Commander started too. Like the early days of Commander, a lot happened around that same time. Like you said, Modern Commander, it all kind of rolled out. The whole format of the face of the game shifted.
Yeah.
Um,
And I remembered I had a friend, Chris, who was like, he was like my most into Magic friend who would like, be like, oh, check this thing out about Magic that you don't know about. And he was like super big on Commander, but it was when it was like just starting. So he was like, I have a Commander deck, but it was during the time when like no one else kind of did. It was very, it was like it was kind of like having like a cube now, like
exactly.
finding other people who wanted to play it was very tough. So yeah. So I didn't end up getting into it until much later. But it was, I remembered hearing about it and not being sure what it was back then.
Yeah, I'm an old head. I started playing Magic way back in like almost like 2001.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, so like all I knew was basically like standard. That was like all we had.
I tell you, it was all kind of just one homogenous format kind of back then.
Yeah.
It was just Magic, that was the game.
Yeah. We were just used to like cards being dead. Like, after they rotated out, like you just throw them away, like they're trash. And then Commander was like, but wait, they're not trash. As a matter of fact,
they have a home here.
Matter of fact, I kept all this bulk, so let me see what I got. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I always like seeing how people got into it. And you're right, like early or I guess newish players, they do usually go to Commander and then kind of like get their feet wet with another format after they play.
Yeah. That's so cool. It's an interesting route to take because like also Modern was like I played fairly competitive Modern, not well, but I went to GPs and I played in main event and I did my best.
Hey, that's awesome.
Like it was very weird to go from like that, which is like you can probably hear one of my cats meowing in the hallway. He's very mad that I'm not paying attention to him right now. He will be back on the desk again soon. But it was very weird to go from like Modern, which was like very fast and very competitive and very like really intense, to like Commander, which is much more like expressive and open and much more. I like to say that I chilled out a little bit between those two formats. Like it's such a different vibe.
Yeah, it very much is. Yeah, it's not as like grindy in the sense of like you got to be on your P's and Q's. Like people were like, oh yeah, you can take that back. Like you would never hear that sentence.
No takesies backsies in Modern.
My finger was still on the card.
Yeah. If you take your finger off it goes on the stack. Oh god.
Yeah.
Things were intense.
Absolutely. Well, this is a good segue into this question. Then, what is your preferred format now? Is it the Commander? Is it still Modern?
Yeah, I play a lot more. I play Commander a lot more often. I've been like keeping an eye on Modern. Like I play it on Migo. That's where I get out my Modern needs. But it was like the decks that I liked in Modern a lot, which is to say that I really liked Infect. Because of who I am as a person. Infect was my baby. I played it all 10 of those years. And then around the time that I stopped playing was when it was like, I think it was like MH2, I want to say, where like that was just like not an option anymore. There was too much stuff that just crapped all over everything in Infect. And I also played Cheerios in Modern, which when Mox Opal got banned, that deck went in the garbage. So I kind of got really tired of like, this is my favorite deck. Now I can't play it.
No, this is
super relevant for today. Like, what do we do with all of our poor CEDH players? Like, man.
CEDH got it the worst today.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. I can't instantly like interchange cards in my head. I always have to like either look at someone's like current ideas or just see a list and kind of like formulate from there. But I can't just be like, oh, we just lost this and this. That's okay. I
like you don't have like the B list card in the wings ready. Yeah, I have to really think about it.
A lot of good like Modern players or CDH players, they just have that. They pretty much know every good card in the entire game of Magic. So they can just, like interchange. But
that was really tough too because like Modern, it was like you only really saw like a certain number of decks and then the cards that are in those decks, like Modern staples. And then Commander, I was like, I'd been playing Magic for like 10 years at that point. And I get to Commander, I'm like, I don't know any of these dang cards.
Just because there's so many.
There's so much stuff that's like not even looked at in other formats that is like staples in Commander, such as the things that have been banned today.
Oh, there's always cards. I'm like, wait, what is this card? Like, heard of this? Yeah. I like this question too. It's always a fun one just for personalities and just different reasons. But do you have a favorite mana color?
I feel like I'm a green player at heart, but I also have a soft spot for Izzet, like Spellslinger. Those are my two my two areas, which they're so opposite of each other, but
they very much are. But I like
yeah. My first modern deck was a mono green mana ramp deck. My first commander deck was a mono green mana ramp Hydras deck with Gargos. So like I like big number. Like it scratches my brain good. And I'm like that in a lot of like video games too. Like I've been talking a lot about Monster Hunter lately because that's a big thing going on. I'm like, I like the big heavy weapon that hits really hard, and that's fun for me. Whereas I know a lot of people that are like, they want like options, they want like toolbox stuff. I'm like, no, I don't want any of that. I just want something with a big number on it, and then I'm going to hit them. I've got green player brain, I think.
I agree. Big stumpy creatures are like near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
So yeah, absolutely. And Daniel too. I think he's always been a big fan of green as well.
Yeah, I started out mono green. So
yeah, I feel like mono green and mono red are kind of like the two best intros. Like
I think so to learn.
Yeah, the gameplay is fairly straightforward with each of those.
Yeah. It's very much like I'm going to do my one thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing.
Yeah, and they're both pretty much like aggro. Yeah, like like get creatures out, swing with creatures. So
right.
Either swinging or I'm burning. Yeah. Like I'm playing burn.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is also a fun question. I know I've said that for every question, but they're all kind of fun. But if you could own any card in the game,
it's Southern Sorcery.
Everything is awesome. Yeah. If you could own any cards in the game, what would it be? No prices, not an option.
Oh man, I'm thinking like special edition, like Jeweled Lotus or
it'll make a lovely coaster for your home. Gosh, I gotta think. There's I don't really have like a go-to one that I can think of. Yeah, I've got mine on the table here. Mine is damaged, so I feel a little less bad about it.
Yeah,
and I got
a pretty good deal then.
Yeah, actually, quick sidetrack that Arthas, no. He wants to be on the spell table, like where I have my stuff set up so bad. He will.
I want to be a star.
Yeah, and I just got back too, so he's like he wants to hang out.
Yeah, withdraw.
Mom's home.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if there's a specific card that I would super duper like nothing. I don't have one in mind except for wasn't there that one copy of Gaia's Cradle that has like the messed up printing on the text box? Gosh, do you know what I'm talking about? Where it just has like, it was like oh my gosh. Both of you cats, get out of here. There's one where it literally like the text is gone and it's just like the symbols. Like it has like the tap symbol and then just the green mana symbol like spaced out.
Oh,
but like it was some misprint line that there's only like 25 or something like that of them. Like I remember because Gavin Bearhay had talked about this on one of his, and I saw that and I was like, "That's cool as hell," because I do like misprints.
One of 25.
I didn't know that existed. Oh, I see it. It's on the it's on the Judge promos too.
Yeah.
Oh wow, those are already like $2,500 just for the normal ones.
Sorry, give me 1 second. My cat's going insane.
I'll put it on the screen. I'll put it on the screen so people can see it.
Dang,
as soon as I get home, my cats are like, they don't fight when I'm not here, but as soon as I get back, they fight because they want to put on a little puppet show. Like,
sure.
They come to the room I'm in to scrap so that I will pay attention to them.
And
I've been schmoozing these cats since I got home. They're just being away. I can't remember which one it was. It wasn't is it a Judge promo?
Yeah, that's what
it is. It's the foil Judge promo, so it has the swoosh, the DCI shooting star, and all it has is the green mana symbol, and then everything else, all the text is gone.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. The rarest. It's like the rarest card ever. Basically, there's very few that exist. Yeah. Because like only a couple of them exist. Oh yeah, there it is. I found it on the thing. I couldn't remember like the full title of it, but that's the one that's so crazy because it's just so wacky. I got a little
honestly,
bit.
It looks really cool though.
Oh yeah. I got a little bit into misprints, not collecting, but perusing.
Yeah.
So I've got a few really misprints and miscuts. So I like those. Yeah. They're fun. They're fun conversations.
I mean, there's a big misprint community for sure.
Oh gosh,
Massive.
yeah, there's a whole
world
of people.
It's a whole other thing.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. That is a cool. I didn't know that existed actually until now. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I definitely stole that answer from. I'm pretty sure it was Gavin that said it during an interview, and that's how I became aware of that. So that's a little on.
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's a solid answer.
It can be your favorite too, just because somebody else. Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah. So, what brought you into content creation specifically? Was there any easy path, or was it just like something you wanted to do that?
Yeah. It was kind of weird because I'd been doing cosplay for so long, but I wasn't really like a content creator or anything like that. I was just like, I made a cosplay. Here's a photo I took of it. Mm-hmm. Goodbye for many months. I was really inconsistent with a lot of it. I would just kind of post my work online and then just kind of forget about it. And then I started making TikToks because a friend of mine was like, oh, she does cosplay stuff on TikTok. I was like, oh, you should come do TikTok. It's super fun. And this is when it was really big for cosplayers. I was like, okay, sure. And then I had one night at F&M where it was modern F&M, and I was playing Infect. And this is in 2018, 2019-ish. And I got paired up with, first round was against Boggles, and I did really good. And then the second round was against Tron, and I did really. I went 4-0 undefeated, just out of nowhere. And Infect does 2-2. But after that night, I was like, oh, that was so funny. I was also after every round, this is a Mox boarding house, and they have a bar there. So I was winning a round in 20 minutes, getting a beer, coming back, winning a round in 20 minutes, and getting a beer. It was just a heinous night. And the whole situation was so funny that I just was like, oh, I'll make some TikToks about Magic. That was crazy. Oh, here's some relatable fun stuff about playing Infect or Magic. And a couple of them just kind of really, really took off.
Nice.
And, the more I started posting stuff about Magic on TikTok, it kind of pulled me into doing more Magic stuff because I already had done some cosplays and such. But, a couple of them took off, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize that anyone cared about me making jokes about Magic and things like that. So it was kind of snowballed from there, from just doing general cosplay posting into posting more about specific stuff like this. So it was kind of a weird process.
Yeah, it's kind of like the light bulb popped. You were having a great night, and you're like, "Yeah, this is a good night. I'm feeling the vibes. I'm going to share this." Yeah, that's really cool.
And it's I've heard that from a lot of other content creators too. That it's it's not oh, I did a boot camp program and I learned how to go viral. It's always just some oh, I made a stupid joke and I posted it, whatever, and then
people thought it was funny. Yeah.
Some dumb post that you might make will just go crazy and that'll be it. So my advice is just post everything.
Yeah, seriously, that's kind of the
even if you're that was a dumb joke, post it anyway.
Post it anyway.
You really never know what the thing is that'll be like.
Yeah, sure.
That'll take off.
So do you consider yourself more of a content creator or more of a cosplayer?
I'd say probably more of a cosplayer. Okay. I tend to do a lot more of that in, both outside of Magic and, with Magic too.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for the longest. And I guess probably both. But I do a lot of cosplay stuff still, even outside of content. So I'm going to cons and all of that kind of stuff and working out things all the time. So yeah, kind of half and half, which there's a good amount. Pretty much all of the other Magic cosplayers are kind of the same way, where there's their Magic cosplay stuff and then they're their second pile of non-Magic cosplays.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, so we're kind of divided up.
Because your Fallout one was really cool.
And that lined up really nicely.
That's kind of both, right? It's Fallout, but it's also Magic now. So that's or you could do Lord of the Rings, and that's also Magic now, and Warhammer and some of those other things as well.
Oh,
and then, of course, with Marvel coming up, that'll open up, I think, a lot.
I think a lot of people are going to come out of the woodwork for
100%.
cosplay for that specifically.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'll be the case too. But I think I would consider you a staple in the because you did the I think it was you with El Schnorn and Prof when he did his video for All Be One. That was you, right?
Yeah. I was the which is so funny because my whole face and hands and everything is covered in that, so
Yes.
no one would ever be like, "I saw you on the video."
Yeah, unknowingly, that's I think the first time I like saw you on something like online or whatever was that. But yeah, I didn't know it until he said it later, like in another video, that I think that was like who it was, and I was like,
oh yeah, he had like a credits at the end and all that stuff. Yeah, it was super fun. Prof was really nice.
But you didn't do the voice; it was somebody else that did.
No, yeah, and it was really funny because like the Elish North, because the voice was all Spice A-Rack, and that was all pre-recorded, and in the Elish North thing, my hands are covered in claws, and the helmet comes down to here. And then I've got like everything on me is covered in like bodysuit and armor and all this stuff. So I basically was just kind of like standing and more or less just kind of T-posing in place, and there were lines where like they'd like play the line that Spice had recorded, and then have me like repeat it back and like act out the bit.
Yeah.
But because I couldn't see, sometimes it'd be like, I'm supposed to like whip around and turn to Prof and like say something, but I'd way overshoot it because I couldn't see. So I'd be like, what? He said where?
Like, oh no, I can't see. Like, just draw everything on the floor because I can only look straight down.
I can literally like just do like, my shoes and like a little bit in front of me. So I had to just, it was really fun. And Spice's voice over was
hilarious.
So funny. It's so good.
This LS turn, mommy. Oh, it was so funny.
There was one take of the line. There's one spot where Spice goes like, it's one where I'm supposed to turn and go, "Why am I still here?" And it's really funny. And I did like a thing for the first take of it where I went, "Why am I still here?" And it was really sassy, but it was so, I put too much sass on it, and then we all busted out laughing, and we had to throw out the take because it was like, "Why am I still here?" It was so good, but like we were like, "Oh dang it," we all like laughed over it. We have to redo that.
Just mute the audio. Blooper reel.
It's fantastic.
But yeah, that's been fun. And then I did I was on Scry Babies a couple of times. That was fun because I love Tori and Lua, but they are on the other side of the country from me. So I get to see them pretty much just at Magic Cons, but it's always good to go out there and do stuff with them too.
I think we've done, this is our 4th interview, and I think Scry Babies has been mentioned all 4 times. Like, as like, so seems like we need to try to get them on here for sure.
Oh yeah. I'm sure Lua has opinions about what's happened today about the band. Because Lua's very involved with CEDH.
She's one of the people I see promoting it. Like, hey, we need more women in CEDH. And then I mean, we know a handful of creators ourselves that are women and like literally just started playing CEDH, and so it's like, this has got to be soul crushing. Like I'm gonna make the commitment, I'm gonna make the jump, I'm gonna like do the thing, and then like, oh, just kidding.
Especially they're like, yeah, these are like the staples for CEDH, and they're really expensive, but you gotta buy them.
Like, okay, I'll cough up the $400 or whatever, $500 to get a copy of everyone. Like, oh, damn, that feels terrible.
Yeah, I'm very lucky that for mine, I don't own any Mana Crypts. I opened this Dockside Extortionist in a pack myself with my own hands, and this Jeweled Lotus I got. I was doing this project, this little side project. It was a damaged card commander deck, which was like just cards that I'd been sent from other people or that I'd traded for that had been like water damaged. Dogs got a hold of them. I had one guy whose house burned down and his binder got like smoked.
Oh no.
And I was like, I had this very much like the the Love Sophie deck. It's like the Gonti Lord of Luxury deck thing that Ristic Studies did a video about. That's really, really great. But I was like, I know all these people have these like cool cards that are really damaged up and all that, and I want to do something like that. But that's where my Jewel Lotus came from, is the guy that I met a guy locally who was like, yeah, my basement flooded, and he was a CEDH player, and his $25,000 deck became a submarine. Like, he had like the Masterpiece Mox Opals.
Oh my God.
He had dual lands and everything. He had everything in there, and he brought me the entire waterlogged box, and he was like, I'll trade you anything for them, because like in CEDH you can't you can't have a damaged card or anything. So like this is let me see if I can get it on a camera here. There was this Jeweled Lotus, and then there's a foil one that's messed up that's in the damage deck. But she's got a little bit of curl to her,
That
but
doesn't
this
look
one came
bad.
out it's not that bad. It's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
sleeve
that's not
playable.
I think I'd kept that one and played it.
No, exactly. And we went through them too, and there was a few that I was like, this one seems salvageable, and he was like, he was like, they have to be completely perfect, or they are garbage to me. Please take them. And I was like, okay. Yeah, so this Jeweled Lotus was survived.
Like, in competitive play, I know they are strict on like, that foil's too curled, like that. You can't. You're marking the deck, like you can't. Yeah, it's very, very strict.
They are really on it there, so I don't blame them for that. But yeah, so I luckily didn't have to pay for either of the 2 cards that got banned technically, so I feel okay about that. But yeah, I would feel really bad for people who were like,
sure,
cool, I'm getting into CEDH now, and I bought all these cards.
I have some proxies of those cards. I did pull a Mana Crypt from my set booster box of Ixalan when it came out, which I immediately sold just because I was
probably
like,
a good idea.
Well, at the time, my thought process was, this isn't a reserve list card. They're reprinting it here. It could get reprinted again very easily. It's on and off the ban list. I've only been playing Magic personally since end of what year are we in? 24. The end of 2022. So I've only been playing Magic for about a year and a half. And so at that point in time, it was like, I could take that $150 and buy like 5 other cards, because I don't really play competitive. So it's like, I can go and take this and get my Anointed Procession that I didn't have yet, that like I had a proxy of. I can take, so I can get 4 or 5 or maybe more of like staples that like I'm actively playing in decks, and then like that'd be more useful than a Mana Crypt and a binder. But
I probably would have done the same thing, honestly.
I have bought a Guy's Cradle, which, I mean, they could ban that, but like at least it's reserve listed. So like there is maybe some more, and I wanted one. That was kind of my holy grail card, was having a Mana Crypt, and I was able to get a friend of a friend found a binder in an attic type of thing, and I was able to get a really good deal on it. I mean, I still paid a lot for it, don't get me wrong, but it was it was like $300-400 under. Like essentially, it was like, hey, what's Card Kingdom going to give you cash for that? Okay, I'll give you that. Kind of thing. So but yeah,
it's not too bad though.
Yeah, not bad. But yeah, man, that's rough to lose cards to damage like that.
I've got the deck. The deck's actually almost done at this point, because he basically was like, here's several competitive level decks, take whatever you want out of them and just trade me some neat stuff for them. And I posted some of the photos of it on my Twitter, and there are a couple of there's a lot of like very expensive cards in there that are just, it's just upsetting to see, because they're like, they're so messed up. So they will have a home there, at least for now, which there is one of the Jeweled Lotuses in there. So it's got to come out now. But
even damage cards, they deserve the love. So so a tailored question for you, a tailor-made question, specifically since you're a cosplayer. I gotta ask, like, what is your favorite like cosplay, like what that you've done?
It's a good question. It's picking my favorite child. Like, I would say the Elish Norn one was very cool, and I liked it a lot. And the pictures and stuff were great, but God, it's really terrible to wear. I'm gonna dock it a few points for that one. I'll go for like my magic and non-magic stuff. For my non-magic stuff, I'd probably say I do a lot of Monster Hunter stuff outside of this. So so do a couple other people, actually. Quick tangent. I was doing the Monster Hunter thing at TwitchCon, and they played a clip of Krim from Asian Avenger playing Monster Hunter on the Capcom stage, and I was like, I know him. What are you doing here? Yeah. But I'd say probably for cosplays, my Odogaron armor from Monster Hunter is a big one for me. It's the red and black one with the big axe. That one's really, really good. I've made that in 2018, and I liked it a lot. And as far as magic, I mean, my Nero one is kind of iconic. I love that one. I love my big dumb staff. I'd say it's a tie between Nira and Ashnod. I love my girlies.
Those are both good. You're crushing it. Like your characters. Like,
are you doing the contest at Vegas?
Kudos.
No, I'm skipping Vegas this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually hit it like every single year, but this year it was like I had PAX, and then 2 weeks later I had this, and I was like, man, I just kind of want to chill out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, there's
I
mean, burnout and like wallet fatigue.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I've been just working on a lot of stuff, so I was like, you know what, I'll sit one out, and we'll see how much FOMO gets me, and that'll determine how soon I buy the ticket for next year,
the
probably.
Next one, for the spring one. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I don't know if they've announced like the locations where they're doing the
I think they know them. I've heard some people that also know them, but like I don't think that there's an actual announcement yet out.
Yeah, I just want them to do one here. I live in Seattle, and Wizards is like here.
Yeah,
like I've driven by their building. I'm like, do one here. I'm tired of flying places. There's not one in the backyard,
Sure. This is always a funny question to me. Like, what do your like non-magic friends and maybe like some of your family, what do they think of when like you explain to them like I do some content creation for Magic or I do these cosplays for Magic? Like, what are their thoughts and ideas of that?
It's pretty mixed. Like I've been doing cosplay for so long that most people who know me just know that this is just something I do. Like, so they kind of expect that part of it. I had one time when I was I was telling my coworkers like, oh yeah, I'm taking this day off. Oh, I'm going out of town for a Magic convention, and they're like, a Magic convention? I was like, yeah, I'm like no, literally. And she was like, you mean like Magic? She's like, what do you do there? Do you learn like magic tricks or
like a sleight of hand?
She was like, is it like a she was like tricks? Not joking at all. Yeah, she really thought it was like a rabbit out of a hat magic type thing. And I was like, that is so much funnier and so much
maybe cool
stranger. I'm like, I would go to that too.
Yeah, sure.
But I think that Magic has also entered such a spot in like the zeitgeist that if you mention like, oh, Magic the Gathering, people go, oh yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons looking cards or whatever, the card game, and
nerd
and inevitably
really brought to the it's way like less mainstream now than more mainstream and less like looked down on now than it ever has been.
And what's really weird too is like if I've mentioned if I go like, oh yeah, I'm doing Magic the Gathering, if it's somebody who doesn't play Magic, there's two things that they know about Magic. That people who don't know Magic, they know two things about it. They know that Black Lotus is a card, and they ask if I have one.
Oh, okay.
No, I do not. And number two, they go, wasn't there the One Ring thing with that Post Malone $1 million or something about it? Yeah. Those are like the two things that have escaped into like the public knowledge.
Yeah, I mean,
so they always ask me like, do you know anything about that?
$2 million for a piece of cardboard is national news. No matter what kind of cardboard it is, I'm guessing.
Yeah, especially and I think it made a lot more people be like, what are they doing over there with Magic? What are those crazies up to?
Yeah, he brought it on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, did oh my god! A lot of
people, they were like, what is this? And he was like, because Joe Rogan had zero idea. Like,
of course, Magic, yeah.
And he asked Posty in the interview, he's like, what's the most irresponsible thing you've done with your money thus far? And he laughed.
It's probably that.
He's like, you want to see it? And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, you got it with you? And he's like, yeah, you want to see what I've done? And he showed it to him. He's like, what is this? He's like, I paid $2.1 million for this. He's like, what? Like, like to me, I'm like, I mean, if I had that money, I would have paid for it too.
If you
That's
had
really
the
cool.
money, it's like, I mean, I just got millions sitting around in the bank. Like,
collecting dust.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Wow. It's not even crazy like the buying it. To me, I'm like traveling with it. That's what's scary.
Like
what if something happens?
Yeah, like you get in a car wreck, like anything. Like the thing gets damaged.
Yeah. Like, you trip and fall in a puddle. Like,
yeah, because he just like wears it on a necklace, I think.
Yeah, that's so scary to me. Oh, yeah, I'm very like accident and bad luck prone, so that's where I go immediately. Is I'm like, no, if I own one serialized card, and I bought it. I've never pulled one, but it's Niv Mizzet. What is it? Niv Mizzet Perron, I think. It's the blue red one.
Oh, okay.
The one that pings you for drawing a card.
That one.
Yeah.
But it's that one, and it's number 444.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's the only serialized one I have, and I'm like, it lives like in a sleeve, in like a hardback, in like a clamshell thing on the shelf, and I'm like, I'm not touching it. It'll catch on fire if I touch it.
Yeah.
Just staying where it's staying. That's a cool one to have though. The 444, like a unique number like that.
Yeah,
those are like
really cool.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it literally like on the. I wasn't planning on buying it that day, but I saw it like in the thing, and I had a ton of store credit from trading some stuff in.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, when am I gonna? Because that's a card that's in my Nero deck. I'm like, when am I gonna have the opportunity to pick that kind of a number for a card that I do like? Mm-hmm. And it was $444 was the price, and I had like I had like 350 in store credit, and I was like, really? It's not even real money because it's store credit. So really only like $100.
Yeah,
I was doing big girl math. Yeah, I was like, it's free.
It's pretty
it's an investment.
Yeah.
It'll only go up. Yeah, exactly.
That's how that works. I think they serialized Perf in Return to Ravnica. I think that would be like so far. I think that would be like the card Shane would want if it would like to. Obviously, besides like a 1/1 ring, but like.
Yeah.
I just want to pull a serialized
card. I feel like every time there's a serialized card, everyone's like, look at the 5 serialized cards that I open. And I'm like, I open a lot of cards.
Yeah, and I've never pulled one.
None. I'm not a good pack opener. I don't have good pack luck, I think.
No pack mojo.
Yeah. I think it's a conspiracy. Because I have friends who like if they open something, oh my god. I was with a friend of mine and we're like, oh, let's both get Lord of the Rings collector's packs when it like just came out. And we go up to get in line. And like we get in line and like we arrived at the same time and he was like, oh, you go ahead. I was like, oh no, you go ahead first. And then he goes up, he picks a pack, and then I pick one after. I open mine, just doo-doo crap, bulk, nothing good. And he opens an Elven Soul Ring, and I was like,
oh man.
Sure, all right, so cool. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Hooray.
So I'm not a good luck with packs.
Yeah.
God.
I feel you. This is also I love to hear these answers because we haven't had a repeat answer yet, but what universe beyond would you like to see in the future if Magic was to delve into something?
No thought at all needed for this. Monster Hunter. I have no hesitation, no second thought. I have no honorable mention. Monster Hunter. I want it for me. I'll buy 10 of every card, and I would wallpaper my room with them. Like, oh my god,
I'll have a whole storage unit just full of this one set.
I would, because I'm so like Fallout already was that for me, where I was like, oh my god, this is already a series that I'm so crazy into, and now we've got like the crossover, and I feel like Monster Hunter is such a slam dunk because it's
monsters.
It's all monsters and creatures, and there's NPCs, there's people, animals, critters,
right into the world.
Yeah, for like an Ikoria type thing where there's like just a lot of beasts and things, and I'm like, I feel like they're gonna find a set where it's gonna be like the best fit. I feel in my heart. I have hope for the future that maybe they will, especially because Monster Hunter has a game coming out next year. That's supposed to be like really big, so maybe could be.
You're the first Monster Hunter we've got.
Oh yeah. What would it be for you guys?
Oh god, no one's actually asked us back.
I'm gonna turn it back on. You gotta answer questions here too.
For me, I'm gonna say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That would be.
That's fair.
That would be really cool.
That was like
I was
my
literally
childhood.
playing Turtles in Time this weekend, the big arcade cab.
I love I wanted to be a turtle essentially when
I was a big Teenage Mutant. I was like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Godzilla, and Sailor Moon were like the 3 shows that I watched growing up the most. Which is pretty much who I am now. So some things do not
Monster
change.
Hunter, I could see. Yeah,
it's the same. Yeah, that's what they should have done. Is for like the whatever, like the Godzilla like secret lair. I'm like, they should do like one of those for some other kind of like a crossover monster. I think it would work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think mine would be Halo. I was a big Halo nerd, like in high school and in college. So I think that would be,
I could see that.
There's,
I mean, that's
another.
There's
enough there. There's enough lore there. There's enough characters.
Yeah,
it could be good.
Especially if we do like a futury space kind of setting, which it seems like they are kind of branching out to do more like not just high fantasy stuff.
Right.
But
no, it's no longer just medieval-ish things.
Yeah.
It's everywhere now.
We've moved beyond just bears and elves.
Yep.
Now we can do anything.
Yeah, we got Space Marines now.
Like, I know,
I was gonna
right?
say, what was the one in the space dinosaur from Doctor Who?
Dinosaurs on a spaceship.
Yeah.
Yes, I have that in my Italic deck. What is his name?
So if you've got that, I feel like we can do whatever. Dinos in space, we can do anything.
Yeah. We got robot dinosaurs at this point. It's fine.
We're good. Absolutely. Yeah. Cool. So last question. Like I said, this is more of a your time. If there's anything that you want to let the people know about, what you've got going on, anything you want to share, this is just your time to close it out.
Yeah, I actually just kind of got done doing most of my cons and events for the season, so I'm pretty free right now, which is really nice. I just did I did PAX West, and I just got back from TwitchCon literally today. So I'm at lots and lots of events, especially in the Pacific Northwest. So whenever the Command Fest schedule and all that stuff comes up for next year, anything around like the Seattle, Portland area, I'll probably be at those. But yeah, I'm pretty free for the rest of the year, which is it's very weird and very nice, because usually like there's so many events going on right now. I don't have a ton of stuff like for like upcoming events, but I am very free to do more spell table stuff right now, which is nice.
There you go.
And play more games. I've been streaming a lot more too. I got a little bit inspired at TwitchCon. Nice. I was like, I'm starting to get it.
That's awesome.
That's kind of what I'm up to now. Is I'm just chilling for like the next couple of months, which is. It's nice to have a little bit of a break.
It's a good time to do it. You got the holidays coming up. You get some family time, just some chill time to do what you got to. Yeah, that's a good time to take off. So nice. Well, thank you so much for coming on tonight and doing this with us, spending some time with us. You are, like Daniel said earlier, a staple in the community. So we were very giddy to have you on.
Thank you. What an honor. I'm very flattered. I think all of us, especially, just a quick aside. I think a lot of us, especially in Magic, Magic's community is fairly small compared to other, bigger games and all of that. Like, a lot of us kind of know each other. I think a lot of us get this idea of like, oh, who am I? I'm no big deal. But it's like, within Magic, a lot of us know each other a lot. Right. Like, a little bit goes a long way. So it's like, even smaller creators and stuff, I would consider like big pillars of the community. So I think that's a very cool thing about our community specifically too, is we all kind of know each other.
Yeah.
If you don't, someone's very quick to introduce you to somebody. And
it's
a very tight-knit community. So,
we've only been doing it just over a year, and I mean just the open arms of this community has been amazing. It's been very, very easy to get to know people and just kind of fall in love with everybody that's in the community, and so yeah, it is just a really great community for sure.
Yep. Well, with that note, thank you all for watching another episode of the Sit Down. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, we'll have all the links for Peachy Pop here below. If you haven't already subscribed or checked out her content, please do. And until next time, have a great day. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.